only on esportbf.com.
Good evening, ladies and jelly beans. Welcome to week 5 of a Conquest 12 versus 12 for ESB. I am joined today by Brett FX, and we're going to be getting into these games very shortly. They're just joining the server now, and it's going to be a spicy one. We've got two of probably the best teams in the bracket going head-to-head today. So yeah, we're going to see some good and spicy gameplay. What do you think, Mr. Brett? What do you think?
I am glad that I was just able to make it, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, I'm super excited. It has been quite a while since I've been able to cast, just, life smacking me around every which way. But it's good to finally be out here, be casting again. And like you said, it's going to be two really good teams clashing here tonight. Hopefully we're going to be seeing, going the distance, some really close matches. I know that in the past matches that I've cast, at the very least, it's a lot of them been very one-sided, and it's very odd. It feels like over the last, I don't know, gosh, I've been casting since Battlefield 3. I have not seen a more one-sided competitive community in ever. I mean, it has been very, very wild to me just how one-sided these games have been. And it doesn't seem to have any like kind of rhyme or reason. I've seen teams that have completely mollywopped one team, and then a couple weeks later it's the exact opposite, and they're getting it done to themselves. So I'm hoping that we see it go the distance. And I know that you had the map list up in front of you just a little while ago. So what kind of maps are we going over?
Yeah, so we are going to be starting off with Mirak Valley, and that's going to be made for Legends pick. Then we're going to be going to map number 2, which will be Empire, so pure infantry, Empire, and that's going to be Gloria Victis pick. And then if we do get there and we get to that tiebreaker, we're going to be going over to Operation Firestorm. So we've got one vehicle map to start with, infantry, and then if we get there, we'll be going into another vehicle map. So yeah, we're going to see some tanking, some helicopter fun, that sort of thing, and then we're going to see pure sweaty infantry into map 2, and then the last one is going to be a nice juicy one as well. That's if we get there though. And as you were saying, like seeing like a lot of one-sided games at the moment in Battlefield 6, which is true, yeah. And you hail from the Battlefield 3 days. I wasn't streaming and casting back then in Battlefield 3. I started actually at the very start of Battlefield 5 after I left the comp scene myself. So I did see a lot more close games, especially with the console and especially the Xbox guys, because that's what I was primarily into at the time. And I know a lot of these guys that hail from the console days as well. For example, Rubber from Made for Legends, he was a PlayStation player and so forth. GB, we've got Frantic as well. So a lot of the guys that have switched over to PC were hailing from the console days, and I just know that this game is going to be a pretty nasty game for them. They're going to be slugging it. They're going to be slugging it a lot, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it should be definitely good. Talking about those maps, though, it's going to be interesting with Empire. So I don't think I've actually cast any match on Empire before. So I've done a bunch of 16s. I've done a couple of 8s. But to be honest with you, I've never seen on Empire. So that's going to be new and interesting.
Mhm.
I'm curious how that's going to be panning out. Because I do know, well, crap. And this is, guys, I do apologize in the audience. This is my fault for not doing my homework. But life has just been busy. But I'm not too sure what vehicles are actually allowed on that particular map, because I think there's a possibility of like a helicopter. And is it a main battle tank, or is it a
Main battle tank? Yeah, so we're looking at Mirak Valley. It's main battle tank, attack heli, and I believe an attack jet. But you might have to correct me on that one. I believe it's an attack jet on Mirak Valley, because I remember doing Gloria Victis versus ESF not long ago. And there's one thing about Mirak Valley that you cannot be caught out by, and that is being left out in the open with a helicopter flying free. Because if the helicopter's flying free, you're going to get farmed between objectives, because there's one big open ground to get between one objective to the other past the crane. So you got to be careful. The helicopter's a real nuisance in this map, so I want to see it handled pretty quickly. And if it's not, then we might actually see this first map go one-sided, as we did see during ESF and Gloria Victis's last match that we actually cast here on ESB as well. So hopefully we won't see a repeat of that. I want to see some more sweatiness, so we'll have to get into it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you there. In this particular game period, air is very, very dominant. It can absolutely destroy. It's really wild, you get into those public games, and air doesn't really seem to be doing a whole lot in the public games, but there's just so much cheese that you can use that when you start getting in the competitive side of things, man, a lot of that's banned, a lot of that is not being used, and I mean, it definitely does just change the tide. I know I've seen some matches on Firestorm, and you would think that, hey, this team, they're doing great, they're about to finish this out. They got like maybe 100, 120 tickets more left to
Mhm.
go. And then all of a sudden their helicopter goes down, and it respawns and it goes down again. And it gives them that, like, good 2.5, 3 minutes of just absolute air dominance. And it completely changes the scope of the map, which, some like, some don't like. It's a mixed bag out there with air, especially with Battlefield 6, or at least from the people that I have talked to, from what I've seen so far. But it definitely is going to be interesting there on Mirak Valley, as well as on Firestorm. And as I said, I don't know if on Empire, if the Little Bird is going to be up and alive on that particular map. But yeah, I mean, as far as vehicles go, do we have any standout players that we should be paying attention to? I know that we're going to be limited in our views, guys. If you do not know, this is kind of one of your first times tuning in. We are very limited in our spectator mode, so I think we're going to be viewing just the streams of the players. And a lot of times we only get like maybe 1 to 3 streams per team, and a lot of times we don't get a mix of what they are. Sometimes they're all air, sometimes they're mostly just infantry. But do we have any vehicle streams or anything like that we're going to be watching?
So I'm not entirely sure. I think Slipton might be a vehicle player for Gloria Victis. Now, the only reason I say that is because he's streaming for the first initial match, and then he won't be there for Empire. And that to me triggers a vehicle player, because you wouldn't want to put your your main vehicle player onto an infantry map unless he was proficient in infantry. So I just have that feeling. But we have got 4 players today, so we've got 2 from each team. So we've got Rubber from Made for Legends. We have also got ourselves.
I do
Let me
know
just double
Rubber.
check.
He's up
So
in
we've
the
got
helicopter
Japvan.
if there's a helicopter.
Yeah, so Japvan as well from Made for Legends. We've also got Lucky from Gloria Victis, and we have got Slipped In from Gloria Victis. So we've got the 4 players there. I've got their feeds up in real time. So just like the end of the last ESB stream that we did, when we buffed out some of the problems, we actually got a nice one-to-one stream of each feed, and it was really in sync with the stream at the end. So I've actually got that live now, and I can see what the players are doing now. They're still waiting at the moment in lobby, trying to get things sorted, trying to get things set up, and we'll let you know as soon as it's ready, and as soon as it's ready to go, we'll jump into the action. But as far as it goes for vehicle players, I'm not too up to date with current vehicle players in general. We did see with ESB that Gloria Victis wasn't so strong in the air, but that's going up against ESF. This could be different for this game. We'll have to see. I have never casted Made for Legends before, but I know what they're like, and I know quite a lot of the players on that team. So I kind of get an inkling that they're going to be quite strong vehicle wise. So I want to see if Gloria Victis can match that. Can match it and take them on. And like you said, go the 3 maps. I always want to see the 3 maps. I want to see it sweating to the max. I don't want to see a push through and a walkover. I want to see the whole lot.
Well, I do know that if we're going to go to Firestorm at the very least, that's always a really good back and forth map. Most of the teams have had some kind of experience on Firestorm. I mean, I believe this is the 3rd game that we've seen that map in. So there's some knowledge that is going to be there for it, which is definitely handy. It makes it a little bit easier on transitioning over into those new games. You have strategies that kind of go over from game to game, and for the most part, they kind of can work. There are some changes that obviously end up happening with different features and sets that happen within the game. But yeah, I mean, Mirak Valley, it is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. You are absolutely right. We're going from a very kind of vehicle-centric map with Mirak, open skies, helicopter can absolutely dominate. And Rubber, he is going to be our helicopter view for that squad, and they are going to. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to pull that out. I know GV is a very, very solid squad. I have absolutely cast them before. M4L I have cast, I think, maybe once or twice, if I'm not mistaken. But it's all been for 16s, and 16s, those games are radically different. You add in those 4 extra players, and it really changes the dynamic. You have more infantry on the game or in the field. They're going to be able to overwhelm vehicles a little bit easier. It's a little bit harder to kind of weed out that many infantry players when you're trying to clear out a building. So, limiting it back down to 12, that does change the dynamic. So we'll be curious to see how these teams kind of are adjusting to that different player restricted size.
Sorry, I'm just gonna have to say this quickly. I got totally just caught off guard by slipped in screensaver for his desktop, and it just yeah, I don't really want to explain it to you, but it's somebody kicking a crocodile in the face, and it was so unexpected. It just took me by surprise. I hope he sees this and looks back and goes, "Oh God, what have I done?" But it's fine. It's fine. By the looks of it, oh, by the way, just bring up the helicopters one more time. Now, a new addition that's been put in one of the latest patches was the thermal sight for the gunner, which is incredibly strong. Now, different to pub games, where pub games you got 32, V32, and the helicopters kind of struggle to stay up, especially when you got like anti-air. You've got dedicated pub players that will literally go for air and only air. We're looking at a 12 versus 12 scenario. A lot of the players will be in fighting in the objectives. There'll only be like a dedicated few plus the air of the opposition as well going after this helicopter. So if a team is able to handle the skies, they handle the field, right? And the crossing over between the objectives as well, especially for Mirak Valley, is going to be crazy. I just want to put that out there, that the helicopters have, with just the thermal sight alone, is an incredible buff for the gunner. And that's how the gunner's just able to farm pretty quickly. You're able to like look into windows, see like the silhouette, you can see like the white hot coming through, and you're just able to pop those shots through because you've got some splash damage there as well. So it's yeah, I mean, the helicopters are incredibly strong, especially in this iteration of Battlefield 6.
Well, it also helps with information. You may not be able to kill as much, but being able to see that one straggler that's going in for a flank, being able to, and that was something that, especially like on Firestorm, which is very, very common. Those players, they leak out and they go back for that home flag, and it can be very frustrating because you have to make that decision. Do we try and push forward and go for their own home flag, play basically the map flipped around, or do we try and go back for our own? In which case you may lose the middle flag. Like it's a back and forth, and it's one of those decisions that can really cost a team. And it's very frustrating to have to deal with. It's like, oh my God, how did they get behind us? When you do have that ability with that thermals, you can scan the map super fast, look around. Hey, you know what? We got a guy that's been able to jump on the flag real quick, or he's about to, and you can reposition your guys over there. So it's very useful. It's useful as a tool for just getting those kills in. It's useful for denial, and it's useful for the communication aspect of it.
Yeah, exactly that. And the tanks are no slouch either. They are a bit more susceptible, especially to the rear armor. I casted this morning an 8 versus 8, which we did see Operation Firestorm, so that was the first map. But the tanks, as much as they are a good vehicle, they're also quite a hampering for teams, especially if you've got this just one guy that gets to the rear and just goes with the RPG straight in the backside of a tank, critical hit. The tanks are mobilized. You're scrambling to try and get the repairs off, and you're also scrambling to try and intercept this team player, and it doesn't hit well. And by the looks of it, are we live? I think we might be. Hold up.
Yeah,
they're saying not live. No, they're saying an hour at the moment, but just double check. Yeah, so they're in NL, so they're not quite live just yet. So we're carrying on.
Excuse me there. So I do want to mention just real quick, like what a fantastic job so far that we have with the overlays that are coming in with ESB. This is looking absolutely fantastic. There may be some issues later on with some of these views of this match, or maybe some other matches based on what people stream at. If they don't stream at a 1920 by 1080 or something funky, but this is awesome. Like I love the fact that we're getting back to what we used to have back in the good old BF4 5 days, where we're seeing some amazing overlays, and also just like shout out to the website as well. Like, the website looks so clean and crisp. Like, it's really awesome to see ESB back in action, and it's I kind of skipped the last Battlefield game. What was that, 2042, I believe it was?
2042.
So yeah. So I've had like a big 4-year break or something, or 3 years. I don't even know, man. It's been a long time since I've really been in the fight here on casting. So it's good to be back at it, man. I'm loving it. So all right.
Yeah, and it's good.
I think this
It's
is
good to
gonna
have
be
you
live
back.
here soon.
Yes, but looks like we are. I mean, the chat says differently, but we'll see. We'll see. We've got question marks at the minute. Yeah. Wait, they're calling R. It's just a waiting game. It doesn't look like live now. Wait, it's so hard to judge what they're doing. No, they're calling not live again, so we're gonna have to wait. I do apologize, guys, but we've got to wait on the players to be ready. So once they're ready, they will call that live button. They restarted the map to get going, but unfortunately, looks like they experienced some other problems for a second. So moving on back in a second. But as you're saying, no, Brett, yeah, welcome back, man. Like, I didn't. This is probably my first time I've got to cast with you because we've just been like missing each other, like like ghost ships in the night. And back when I was casting a lot as well with Battlefield 5. So
I think we cast some BF5 together. I think it was on. I think it was the 5v5 Dom. It was on the map that was like a harbor. I can't remember. Anyways, I think we have cast together before, but it's been a
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we kind of skipped 2042. I mean, I did a few casts for the game, but yeah, it wasn't ready. This game is more ready than it was beforehand. So that's why we're getting spectator mode soon. That's why we're getting these casts on the go, despite it being FOV only. But at least we've got those player perspectives, and we're able to cast off of those for the time being. But remember, the 18th of August, Spectator will become live, not for all game modes, so Conquest and Red Set. But we'll see what will happen from there onward. Just checking again, see if they call live. Not live at the moment. So they are. Look at the experience.
Yeah, one of the players is on what's issues. So hopefully they'll be able to get that fixed up relatively soon. But yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that this is a thing. But for anybody who has been in any kind of competitive situation, even back in the days when I was like getting a players in the lobby, it's an experience, man. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. People dropping out, connections not working, servers are just going to that day. So while this is definitely frustrating, I mean, they welcome the Battlefield esports, right? It's just kind of part of it. It is, like I said, it is unfortunate, but it is kind of just a thing. Now, I did be curious. Go ahead.
Yeah, the introduction of Portal as well. Now with Portal, it's community made, right? So there might be hiccups, there might be an update that breaks something, there might be something you cannot find until two players in the game they say, look, something's not right here, something's not working. Can you just check it out? And it happens all the time. So that is just the life of Portal as well at the moment. So as time goes on though, and like port codes are getting updated and more stuff's being added, hopefully we'll start running into less issues. It's still early days. Battlefield 6 hasn't been out for an incredibly long time. Portal technically has, which is 2042, but it's very basic in 2042. We've got a bigger and more customizable version of the Dodo engine, isn't it, for Battlefield 6? So we've got that to use as well. So there's a lot to it. So things are bound to go wrong eventually. One thing or another.
Oh yeah, just one little step there. But no, it is going to be interesting to see what Spectator brings. To be honest with you, this is the pessimistic view. I believe it's probably been broken on day one and not really usable. But the fact that they are at least bringing it to the game is definitely a little frustrating, especially as somebody who quite literally flew me out to Dice LA Studios to help on Spectator mode there. So it's frustrating that they didn't even have it at launch when they used to spend so much time and effort in making sure that was a core feature. But that is kind of just the way things go these days, But they are going to be putting it back in. Hopefully we don't have to revisit I would say that, in my opinion, Battlefield... I would say Battlefield 5 was probably our best feature set of spectator mode, but as far as like just being really solid and just working overall, man, you know, Battlefield 4 was just it was just a really good spectator mode, man. It
Yeah.
was just always there. It just worked. Once they got all the kinks out of it after the first 6 months, man, it was just a super solid platform in order to run spectator. So I really hope that they're kind of looking at what BF4 did and just like if we're gonna get just basic, uh, you know, features, bring what we have for Battlefield 4 over. You know, because
Yeah.
it was just so good to be able to use that. I actually jumped in the Battlefield spectator mode about was it 3 weeks ago, I think it was. And oh my god, dude, it just felt so good. Like all of a sudden, that muscle memory started popping back, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember how to do all this stuff." So, yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. And you know, I mean, I think once we do end up getting a spectator mode, we'll be able to do a lot more casting. You're going to see a lot more leagues popping up. You're going to be seeing a lot more community casters coming out of the woodwork. And back in the previous games when we had that happen, you really started seeing the community grow a lot more. And that's what I'm really hoping that we see coming out of this. We need some growth. We need more eyes on competitive Battlefield, and we need to have more communities playing as well. You know, we don't have the big communities playing anymore like they used to. We don't have, you know, we don't have the big 32 versus 32 matches, which, in my opinion, is just I love those. Those are just peak Battlefield experiences right there, and we just don't have them anymore. So hopefully, with like spectator mode and some work on Portal, and just some stability issues, we'll be able to make that happen.
Yeah, and there's one thing that's really important with spectator mode as well is the fact that teams, after their match is concluded, they'll go back and watch the stream. They'll look at the spectator mode and they can actually see from like a bird's eye view, you know, from the free cam, maybe what they've done wrong and what they can improve on, especially with like enemy squad movements. If they spot like, oh yeah, that's what happened, you know, that's how we lost our back cap. They went, you know, they went this way, they wrapped around that way, they managed to avoid us totally. Maybe we can improve on that for the next time. So there's a lot of learning during it as well. And just talking about that, I think we got good luck, have fun coming through. So I believe we are live.
Right. Here we go, guys. Emperor versus Gloria Victis, and it is going to be Mirak Valley, the very first map. And who's going to be on board with?
So Japven, I believe we're on board with at the moment. So it's POV here for Made for Legends, and they are going to be making their way from the Jeep and take an instant fire from the helicopter from above. And there you go, goes down pretty quickly, and he's just out of the game, just like that.
Oh my god. Lucky is absolutely not lucky here, as he jumped off of the roof and killed himself. That is something that I haven't seen since like Battlefield 3. Definitely having some weak knees and then immediately dies to a wares. So not a good start here for M4L. That is unfortunate for sure, as Japman is going to be kind of cleaning up some players here in and about the flag. But there is the tank. That's going to be Grubby coming up and cleaning him out. So we do have some armor finally making their way up towards the main section of the map. But taking a look right now, I'm not finding it in the rule sets, but is there going to be a helicopter spawn on this particular map? Off to the actual flag?
No, so it's one attack helicopter per side. There won't be any additional helicopter involved. It looks like we have actually got ourselves a gunner feed, and that's going to be slipped in. I was right in thinking slipped in was a vehicle player. Now he isn't the pilot, he is going to be the gunner for Gloria Victis. So he's going to be looking at engage the opposition helicopter, which is on the other side of the field at the moment. As you can see, rockets being pushed off, and guns being shot out there as well. Utilising the trouble vision, and looks like the attack there is coming in, dealing a little bit damage to them, and putting the pressure on there for his helicopter. Now coming in. Incoming anti-air as well. He's going to be able to get a few shots off towards that ping. Doesn't quite connect though, and doesn't quite get the kill. At the moment they're being held out, and this is what I'm scared of. Now being held out of the battle zone entirely is not what you want to be as a helicopter pilot, and what you want to be as a helicopter gunner. You want to be up high and calling out, you know, where enemy movements are coming from, and you want to actually be dealing with some damage as well. The helicopter's got a secondary pistol, which is brilliant for anti-air. But if he's just being absolutely tagged by the attack plane, and also getting tagged by the helicopter, that GP helicopter could be staying out of the battle zone until well, until he's able to push back in, which hopefully he'll get a chance to momentarily. Jumping over to the infantry though, looks like Rubber will not be a helicopter gunning today. He is going to be full infantry by the looks of things. He's pushing in. He's got himself a C7, I believe, which is a very fast firing SMG. And the other two players of Lucky and Japven are both rocking the DRS, one of my favorite guns in Battlefield 6. I am a big DRS fan, and looks like jumping over to Japven in just a second. He's actually getting a revive and going into one of the objectives here, which is running out of the Delta and away from him.
So did Rubber did he get shot? Their helicopter typically.
Well, I've seen the Gloria Victis helicopter's gunner view, and I can see a little bit of a white hot helicopter at the other end. So I do believe Rubber may not actually be gunning, which is interesting.
All right, cool. We do see Gloria Victis now with 4 flags in their advantage. This is where it gets really scary. You know as well as I do that those tickets, they just leave so fast when you start getting an advantage. And yeah, they're going to have to really kind of fast track relatively quickly, trying to get at least one more flag. We see and Deegan. Love the fact that we're seeing some more gadgets being used here in this particular league. We've got the tugs being thrown out as well as the jammer. So having more utility is always a lot more fun to watch and being utilized. Beautiful job there from Rubber. He does take down 2, but eventually will get cleaned out as we do see still that Charlie and Delta were being contested as I think Lucky was able to finish that up. So nice job there. We are going to be seeing M4L starting to kind of stabilize a little bit more. They were definitely in a bad position, but quickly were able to get out of it. It's still a very close game relatively.
Yeah, I just want to jump back to Slipton quickly because GV have managed to break free of their stranglehold out of the battle zone, and they're actually gone in now in the helicopter as the gunner, and he is just getting kills on infantry left, right, and center, opening fire at the tanks as well with the AT missile, and it's just mopping up on the ground at the moment. It looks like maybe the M4L heli has been removed from the airspace for the time being. As you see, there's a bit of an AA missile coming his way, but able to dodge it. And yeah, just putting down the hate, pulling out those markers, making sure that infantry is tagged. Even just a little bit of damage on any infantry crossing the field or going in between objectives is beneficial for his team, because that means an infantry player may be able to mop that up and pick up the kill for him, even if he doesn't get the kill in. So as you can see there, he's actually firing at long range, trying to get that kill. He's got a teammate or squad mate at the back there as well, maybe able to finish that kill for him, as he's probably calling out to his teammate as well. As soon as I said that though, unfortunately, his squad mate did just go down. So maybe that's not the case, but it is normally the case. So yeah, doing a good job. GV, carry on.
Yeah, M4L, they're able to get that 3 flag advantage. This is going to give them that lead back in their favor. So evening up the score even more so than what we saw before. And, you know, you're absolutely right. They have control of these guys. They're just kind of picking off players as they come. I didn't know what Rubber was doing a little bit while ago. I saw in the kill feed, he actually killed himself with the C4. So I don't know if he took out a vehicle or not with it. But I just saw him suicide with C4. So that was interesting. Little fun part there. But, yeah, so right now we're on board with Japin. This man right here, honestly, guys, like, he is one heck of an infantry player. I saw him in a TDM tournament not too long ago where he ended up racking up like, I don't know, it was like 200 kills in order to win out the match, and I think he won like a couple $100. So he definitely knows what he's doing on the infantry side of things. And right now, GV, they are struggling here to make sure that they're going to be holding on to at least 2 of these flags. We do see a big spawn bomb coming in over onto that Charlie site, trying to correct this this imbalance, but Japin just doing what he does best, hunting around, seeing if he can't just take out a couple more of these guys sitting all the way in the back.
Unfortunately, went down to Sombard just then as well. Going over to Rubber at the moment, who's got his whole squad with him. Looks like they're trying their best to hold this objective and stop GV from reclaiming it from them, because currently they've got a 3 objective to 2, so they've got the ticket bleed ongoing at the moment. The game is actually still pretty close. It can swing anyway, as long as Gloria Victis is able to come in with the infantry and pick up those kills. Zane taking down Rubber there, but he's got 3 of his squad mates coming in to help him there as well. And by the looks of it, we just seen Taco coming in with a beautiful kill, cleaning up that enemy squad. And Rubber not going to opt in for the revive, instead going to just go in for the hot spawn straight off the objective and get himself straight back into the fight.
Yeah, I like what Japin's doing here. Just very, very long rotation. A lot of times, you know, it's good just to kind of go for a wide sweep. You're going to be coming in from an angle that they may not be expecting. Plus, you're probably going to be able to clean up a couple of infantry players if they're straggling through there as well. But not going to be seeing anybody just yet. He is going to be the engineer class, so should be able to knock down some vehicles if he does spot anything out. But he's going to be making his way all the way back through the middle of the map. Hopefully, he doesn't do all of that running just to get shot. And that's exactly what happens. So sometimes you're just there to...
A nuisance,
so he
right?
types in, I got told to go to B. So we're gonna blame whoever's the shot caller there for GV. I don't know if he's listening right now, but that is absolutely hilarious. As yeah, he ran all that way just to die. So, anyways, he is gonna be able to get the respawn coming in, and let's see if we actually get this helicopter. That chopper is very, very just sitting still, so not gonna be able to connect with that rocket, but we do have a tank pulling on back for that home flag for M4L, and as you can tell, I mean, right now GV they're kind of a little bit everywhere on the map. They're hitting all of the flags everywhere. Everything has been flashing at one point in time here in the last 30 seconds to a minute or so, and this is where it really gets interesting because teams start to fall apart in this situation, and it really takes a good shot caller to make sure that everybody's reined back in, you know?
Yes, yeah. When comms get out of control and anger starts overtaking you for some for some reasons, it's some frustrating or teams not like doing what you've said to do. Like, you try to adapt on the field, and a good shot caller just to bring you back in line is always good to keep those nice clear comms. Because in the end, if you've got someone screaming in your ear, you're not going to hear those footsteps, right? You're not going to hear some vital information like on the objective that you take in. You might not be able to hear like the ping of a tugs. You might not be able to hear the tracks of a tank. That sort of thing where you run out to the open, you just get absolutely slotted. So yeah, keeping those clear comms, keeping a clear head is always good for these comp players, and I know quite a lot of them are well trained in doing so. So I'm glad they're able to do it. Now I was just looking at Lucky just then, and Lucky decided to go 1v1 against the enemy helicopter. Let's just say he didn't succeed. He failed miserably, but he took a good shot at it, literally, and he just got insta-blasted in the face. So, yeah, guys, maybe don't do that. I know LMGs are good at, like, hitting lighter armor vehicles, aka helicopters, planes, that sort of thing, and you do deal damage, which damage is always good, but when you're staring a helicopter bare in the face and its gunner's looking at you, it's probably not the best thing to open fire on it. Especially when it's using thermals as well, so you just like as bright as a Christmas tree staring at them. So yeah, but it's still good to see. Lucky is a very good player, I've spectated him a few times now, and he's phenomenal. He picks up so many kills. He holds so many dirty angles, and that's just the type of player he is. He's very good at doing that.
So I want to point out right now that GV has finally lost the lead. M4L is now in the ahead by about 20 tickets or so. And with that 3 cap, they're just kind of sitting on that burn. And they have been able to hold these middle flags for quite some time. And those center flags, very easy to kind of shift back between the two and reinforce each of those. So if you can hold on to your home flag, this is pretty evil to be set up here. You just kind of farm it very, very easily. I like the fact that we do see some C4 being coming out right now, setting up those traps, something we haven't seen for quite a while. But to speak on what you're talking about, like shooting at the helicopters, it is interesting that you mentioned that, because I had a conversation with Dev during a cast one time, and I was like, dude, what is he doing shooting at the helicopter? And, this is just kind of my old school way of thinking back when guns really didn't do much. But I mean, you're set up with an LMG in the right way, and if you get 1 or 2 of your guys, even like a third, just kind of spraying at the helicopter, you get damage coming in from multiple different directions, and it actually can push a helicopter away and sometimes even kill them. So it is kind of interesting, like that is an option now in this particular game.
Yeah, and the LMGs are like heavily designed for that. It's actually in their motto for the support player. So the DRS is the ideal candidate for it. Not only is it super accurate, it's got some nice high damage power as well. But at the same time, as much as like having a whole squad open and fire on a helicopter is great for pushing that helicopter back, but I think Lucky was literally on his own. So I think he just wanted to 1v1 with the helicopter at that point, which kind of made me laugh in the back of my head. But at the same time, I do understand, like, putting some damage on the heli, may even force it away or even assist with, say, the attack jet from your own team, dealing that extra little bit of damage to take it out. So it's always a good thing to do. But if you've got, say, the backup of your teammates with you, so you don't have to worry about if you died, whether you've got to like run like 50 to 100 meters just to get back to where he was, then that's always a positive. Always a positive.
Javin here, he is going to be able to pick up at least one in the warehouse. His teammates it's just back and forth. It's a meat grinder at the moment, and he is going to be able to come on out. Nice pickup there onto the vehicle. We do see big pressure coming in from the tanker. This is from M4L? Yes, M4L. And they are going to be able to potentially take a 4 cap here, which would be absolutely huge now. We're looking at about a 100 ticket gap between these two teams, and especially since they basically flipped it on its head. We saw 100 tickets coming out from them. I think maybe their own vehicle has now gone down, potentially because of that helicopter being up and alive for GV. But yeah, GV, they're going to have to jump on something here relatively quick. Now, nice thing about a free cap, you aren't going to be seeing that bleeding too awfully bad, but you also have to remember that the bleed is not just on those majority flag caps. You are also going to be seeing the bleed coming in from players spawning in, so that does also matter. They can't just be throwing away their life. They're going to have to be a little bit smarter about it. But yeah, those thermals right now, take a look at this. I mean, that is just, right now, this is the reason why you want thermals on. He's able to spot every single one of those players moving about that particular flag, is given information out, he's going to be able to pop it. I think he actually just saved that flag. So fantastic job coming in and using those thermals. Very, very good thing.
Yeah, and that new addition is just changed the aspect of being a heli gunner as well. Like you were saying, you know, the information it provides, you know, being able to see just small white silhouettes and to be able to open fire them at long distances. Now, the GV helicopter is under a lot of strain at the moment. It is currently like dotting between its home objective, and this is allowed Made for Legends just to go for that quad cap, which is going to be taking down these final tickets, giving them quite a substantial lead. I mean, just under half of the total tickets combined. It looks like we may see about 173, perhaps, if there's a few kills picked up. But by the looks of it, actually, it's going to be 175 because the Made for Legends guys are just not going down. There we go. So at the end of the game there, at round 1, we have got ourselves a substantial lead by Made for Legends, 175 tickets, 0. The big feeds, Rezo, which is one of the older players there for Battlefield 5 days, went 19-9. 17-6 from Psych there as well, and a 14-14 from Japven. Over to the other side, so we've got Zayn there with a 21-14, and unfortunately I did not pick up the other two on the leaderboard as well. But GG's to both teams there at the end of this very first round, but Made for Legends got that substantial lead. So we'll have to see how the second round goes before we head over to the next map, which will be Empire State. So we'll be leaving a vehicle-based map and going into pure infantry. So I know GV are very, very strong infantry-based players, so we could actually see ourselves a third map today. We could see ourselves a third map today, and I'm hoping we do. I really do.
Well,
so what are your initial thoughts, Brett?
Well, 175, I don't think is going to be a terrible ticket count to have to come back from. The ticket bleed isn't horrible. We are seeing, you know, the full 5 flags being utilized, which does mean that it's going to be spreading out those players quite a bit. So you're not going to be seeing as much of a stranglehold coming on in. It was interesting, though, that GV did such a good job there at the very beginning of the match. And for whatever reason, I think it may have been because they just lost their helicopter. You saw them kind of slipping up just a little bit. It shifted back over into the favor of M4L. They just weren't able to really kind of get any more ground from that. So I think that it's doable here in this next round. And speaking of the next round, I believe we are going to be going live here in just a few seconds.
Yeah, they're calling live straight off the get-go. I haven't seen no lives yet. Oh, no, I've seen a no live. Lucky has just called it after live. So we are not live at the moment, but the players are getting themselves prepared for this round 2. They are missing a player. That is on Made for Legends side. They're missing 1 at the moment, so they're just waiting for that player to rejoin the game and get back into the fight. So round 2, they switch sides. Made for Legends technically got the worst side this time round, as Gloria Victis unfortunately did have the bad side, as they call it, on round number 1. So I really want to see Gloria Victis control the skies more. Their helicopter was caught out and left out of the battle zone quite a lot. Even though we saw the feed from them and they were getting a few shots in, they were picking off kills, but they were unable to extend further than their home objective. They weren't able to get, over towards the 2 center objectives and like look for the infantry there. The real important infantry that are fighting in the middle ground to go for those 2 objectives, the ones that really could like swing the ticket count the other way. So I'm definitely waiting to see if Gloria Victis does have it in the bag for this one. And I'll be interested to see how the tanks do as well. We only seen the tank once during that last game, apart from seeing them like through the hot white of the helicopters. So I want to see some more tank action going on. We don't see it enough in these POV feeds, unfortunately. But it's always good to see, especially when you see a good anti-tanker go after these tanks, and they just show you their mindset versus, say, a standard infantry mindset. So, for example, earlier this morning, I was spectating some of the Australian guys, and there was a player called Cryptic. Instantly, just pure anti-vehicle. Takes one of the motorbikes, goes straight to the non-cap of the enemy, pulls back behind them, and just unleashes on the back end of an MBT and just wipes it from the field off the get-go, like straight away off the start of the game. And it kind of swung it in their favor, to be honest with you. They won quite a substantial amount, and that's because they were just putting pressure on those vehicles, and they were pounding the tanks out and just making sure they didn't get a foothold on the middle objectives, and it just allowed the infantry to go free and just roam freely and don't have to worry about, if a 120 millimeter shell is going to enter the building and hit you in the face. That's not going to happen. So anti-tanking is one of those things where it's actually really important, but at the same time you don't want a lot of anti-tankers, right? You want like 1 or 2 very, very good coordinated guys to go after those vehicles, but not enough so your infantry takes a hit from it.
I think that one of the, I guess it's in some ways a good thing, in some ways a bad thing. Battlefield 6, I think it's one of the easiest things to be as an engineer. I mean, you've got a really good tool set. Your guns, because there's no like limit on what guns you can use. You get access to the best guns that are there. I mean, the fact that you can revive your own squad mates, like in this game right now, it is the easiest to be an engineer than it ever has been. In past Battlefield games, you really did have to make that decision. Am I going to be able to revive my teammates, or am I going to be able to take down tanks? And, so you really did see a needed split of, okay, we're going to have like 1 to 2 medics that are going to be, floating around and just making sure people are staying up and alive and putting down med bags. And then we're going to have everybody else just run engineer, because if that tank does end up coming busting on through, you're going to need to try and take them down as much as possible. But I mean, really, anybody can really just be an anti-vehicle in this game. Like, I don't know. Just seems like the choice is a lot easier now than what it used to be.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and at the same time, a very good tanker will never face his rear armor to you, never. And they always kind of have eyes on you as well, always kind of know where to point their front armor, because in Battlefield 6 especially, your frontal armor, 25 damage, your rear armor, critical hit, your mobilization's gone, and you're just a sitting duck. So that is going to be the case in that regard, and the one big caveat of being an engineer as well is being able to take any weapon, and that wasn't the case in, say, Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5. So that is different in its regard as well. By the looks of it, though, we are live at the moment, so the guys are going to be getting into their games and getting into the fight. And again, for Slipton, he is currently gunning again in the Gloria Victis helicopter, and he's actually locked onto a tank as well at the moment. So he's going to be looking at unleash a missile and just calling out that tank. Let's see if he's able to take it down here, just solely as the heli. So he doesn't quite finish it. He is going to be looking back at it again, but he's constantly looking over towards the Jeep, towards infantry as well. He just killed off a Rezo there, inside of the middle object. This is what I was talking about. Having the helicopter extend towards the 2 center objectives is a very nice play to have, because that means you're able to take down the infantry, fighting tooth and nail in those 2 objectives, and allowing your teammates just a little bit of wiggle room to get those objectives and start hunkering down to stop incoming infantry from the respawn screen to try and reclaim.
I believe that they just took out an enemy jet right there, if I'm not mistaken.
The heli?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think they did as well.
At least the assisted and the help for it. But yeah, I mean, that was a really, really good job there on their part. part. Be able to do that, that's going to make sure that their jet's going to be staying up and alive and being able to do some damage against the helicopter. So props to them. But yeah, at the moment, GED looking really good here at the start. They don't have the majority of flags, but if they can control this air and really just be a nuisance, it's going to be a very big plus on their part. We do see, I think it's going to be a Bravo flag starting to flash over now, which is going to be primarily a infantry flag, if I'm not mistaken. And, yeah, I mean, this is just a standard chocolate play. Looking pretty good. We do see that thermals. Like I said, thermals are just...
It's crazy.
As somebody
crazy.
who's not... So I am not an air guy, right? I've never been an air guy, never invested in an air guy. It seems just a little bit much. Like, I don't know if they need to have, like, a distance limiter on this, but man, I mean, you're able to see, like, it is peaky features coming out. It's like just big glaring flare of, hey, I'm right here. So I don't know. I'm on the fence still about the thermals. I know they've been in past Battlefield games, but man, this one just seems like they're ridiculously strong.
So just want to quickly call it out because I did see it actually on the ESB stream itself. The Gloria Victis heli did kill the jet. It was the head pilot itself that killed the jet, and I just seen that rocket come and hit the heli as well. Absolute just bang, gone. But yeah, the heli was responsible for killing that jet, and unfortunately, therefore, the Gloria Victis helicopter just went down to a handheld though from Made for Legends. Now, Made for Legends, I could see on the helicopter feed that they were just gunning for that heli. They were just constantly putting the pressure on, and they know they need to remove it from the airspace to get theirs in and just to get free roam basically. So by the looks of things, now they're going after the tank from Gloria Victis as well. So the tank of Gloria Victis is way off field at the minute. So Gloria Victis will just literally be able to start rotating back towards the middle objectives. Currently, we're looking at Rubber and his teammates actually making his way over towards one of the objectives at this time. He's going up the staircase, and he's going to be looking to engage some members here of Gloria Victis momentarily. Now, you were saying earlier about the utility gadgets being used more and more. The tugs is severely underrated. Severely underrated. That thing is crazy for spotting people in that radius, and it gives them just so much information. If someone's just sat around the corner, you put tugs down around the corner next to him, and you spot them instantly, so you know the guy's in the corner. So there's a lot of things with the tugs that are really good. So being a recon player is actually a very beneficial thing, especially in these type of modes where there are a lot of corners, a lot of head glitches, and just a lot of sneaky spots to hide in, really. And it's great to see it being used more and more nowadays.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm always frustrated when new Battlefields come out, because the first thing that everybody wants to do is ban everything. And I realize that there are some balance issues, and there are some maybe glitches or quirks to the gadgets that it may feel like they're just unfair. And by the way, M4L's helicopter is up, and it is moving all the way to the other side of the map, so he's going to be giving some support potentially over there towards A. Yeah, that is pretty impressive for him to move all the way over there. And but anyways, yeah, I mean, as far as like the gadgets go, I always love being able to utilize them and use them, and seeing how these players are smart with them, like how they kind of, this is going to sound negative here, but how they kind of abuse how good they are in certain situations. Like, and I don't mean like abuse like, oh, it's they're glitching it or something, but like using them in ways that people don't expect them to be used, you know? So like being able to throw them into a building at the very top, you know, just right up against the boundary, and you end up, you know, seeing the entire building that's being used as opposed to just like, you know, the corner of it or one particular edge. And oh my God,
wow,
that was a beautiful rocket coming out from Jabvin, and he is going to be able to take that down. That is a big kill coming in. And we'll see if they're going to be able to capitalize off of that. But that has got to be absolutely frustrating.
Yeah, the Gloria Victis helicopter was up all about, I don't know, a minute and a half before it just got killed off there by Japven, just bringing them back down to the ground. So, yeah, the Made for Legends helicopter's just got free roam at the moment. I know the jets are up, but they've got their own problems. You know, they're fighting each other as well. So they've got to deal with each other as well as deal with the helicopter that could get a sneak shot in one or two. For example, like we saw from the Gloria Victis helicopter going after the M4L attack plane, just able to get the kill on that just very quickly. There is a lot of stuff going on at the minute though. By the looks of things, we have got ourselves M4L with Echo, Delta, and Alpha, Bravo Charlie, which are the two center objectives are under Gloria Victis control, so the back cap is currently under control of M4L, which is very interesting to say the least, because we might see a pinch coming from Gloria Victis any second now. Now, Frantic getting killed off there. by one of the members of Jap Ben, and Rubber is actually just dotting around in one of the objectives at the moment. So we're just going to keep an eye on that Jap Ben for now, because he is in a very important spot. As Alpha starts to fall back to Gloria Victis' control, is Jap Ben going to try and engage this with his squad mate? There's only 2 of them, or is he going to just try and maybe keep quiet and wait for him to leave? Because the helicopter's down at the moment, so there's going to be no thermal spotting anyone. But I don't think Gloria Victis would leave the objective. They kind of know he's there. Looks like he's opening fire. Big rocket launcher kill there coming from Jap Ben as he takes down a member of Gloria Victis. He moves back into the Alpha objective, and it was just one member of Gloria Victis on the point. So it's just free. It's just free for M4L yet again. They're just able to come in. Oh, he's got pushed, and Frantic comes in with the DRS and takes Jap Ben down. Just as quick as that. Just as quick as that.
Yeah, well, right now this is definitely scary here for GB. They are on the chopping block, 175 tickets. Remember, guys, once we go below that 175 for GB, it is game over. We'll be playing out the round, of course, but it is technically not going over into the favor of M4L if it does go below that 175 mark. So they got about 25 tickets left in order to make that happen, and Rubber is doing a great job right now. He is going to be just sitting back, chilling over here onto that B flag, not overextending. This is something else too with these teams. They are putting pressure on, and we are getting a little bit more like aggressive, I would say, and kind of getting up there towards that alpha flag, which I do like seeing from them. They're just choking them out, and the thing is that when you have to fight just to get to that next flag instead of fighting on the next flag, you're just burning them down so much faster. And as you can see, they have gone below that 175. So there is a really good game coming out for M4L, as they will be able to take map number 1. And they did it in very convincing fashion. I mean, I believe they ended out that last round as a 4 flag cap. They're going to be ending out this round and a 4 flag cap as well. So, yeah, I mean, props to M4L.
And I've spotted as well M4L and their ability to be anti-tank, anti-vehicle, you know, general anti-heli and whatnot. Jap Ben is just on it. He's just got that toe. He's going for it. He just helped the CVC, who's the gunner for M4L, kill off the MBT from GB. And yeah, I mean, you can see it now. He's just roaming over towards Alpha objective. He tried to go for the helicopter there from GB as well. He opened a fire at long range like DRS. I don't think he's been able to get a kill there. As there's a lot of cover in the way there, but he's able to see the red marker and just open fire to try and get a few shots in. Here's the heli, and Jap Ben is open a fire. Unfortunately, had to go prone because he's taking fire from his right flank, so unable to keep going that missile to its destination, and he did just get killed off there as well. So, as you said, M4L with the victory on map number 1. Before we go into Empire State, which will be the next map, I believe we will lose 1 POV feed, which will be the helicopter gunner for GB. I don't know if we have a second feed at the ready or not, so we might just only have Lucky, which is absolutely fine because Lucky is a very good player and we always see some kills get picked up by him as well. So, yeah, Empire State is coming up next. And I can just see Jap Ben there with that tow rocket again, and he spotted something, and he did hit it. I wonder what he's seeing. He's seen the infantryman inside that building, and the poor man was just trapped in there, and he just got absolutely just destroyed, just mauled in the building.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, I think that we saw some really good plays coming out from both of these teams here on this particular map. But you know, sometimes these maps are just not the right one for a particular play style, particular set of players that are actually playing at that particular time. So hopefully we're going to be having a good one coming out in the next one. I do like the fact that we do see Chapman with another rocket coming on out, trying to take down the helicopter. If he does end up killing this helicopter, we're going to have to start some kind of counter. We'll have to get production to have like a Chapman helicopter killer counter or something like that. I don't know. And just kind of see how that goes. But yeah, really good plays coming out from both sides. And just really good teamwork coming in here for M4L. I think that they did a fantastic job of, because I'm pretty sure in both of these rounds, we saw GV coming out in the lead. They actually had the majority control of the map. They were looking pretty good. And M4L, you know, they didn't let that get to them. They just slowly but surely were able to climb back, get that control in their favor. And they just consistently pushed them back and back and back. And obviously, those helicopter kills coming in practically back to back as well were absolutely critical. And they make a massive difference. And not just for your team because the helicopter's not there. But it also does kind of it tilts the helicopter pilots just a little bit. I mean, these guys they do play enough that they're not going to start raging, but it does
Hmm.
get under your skin a little bit, and you get maybe a little sense of urgency on trying to get the next chopper up in the air and try and do something as much as that's impactful, because you kind of have been out of the game just a little bit, and they may make mistakes. They may do things that they wouldn't typically do, which overextensions, just not playing as safe as maybe they should, and they end up getting taken down again. So props to M4L. That is going to be map number 1 going into their favor as we head over onto Empire State. This is going to be more of an infantry-centric map. We do for sure have a main battle tank that is going to be played here on this particular map, I believe. Did we? I've been looking through the rules.
I
No,
don't know. There's no vehicle on
no
Empire State.
vehicles.
No. So
vehicles at
Empire
all.
State is pure infantry. Pure infantry. I think
Okay.
maybe thinking about Manhattan. Manhattan's a little bit different. You have LAV, I believe, on of that one.
I was
I've
thinking about Manhattan, so that is my
just
bad.
paused the ESB feed whilst they're loading up the maps, just so I can have a look at the leaderboard. So I've got a leaderboard update for you guys for that last round. So we're going to go with M4L to start with, because they were the leaders in this round. So Arizo with a 12 and 5 as a pure infantryman. So well played, Arizo there. 11 and 10 for Real Taco. Hector with a 0 and 1, possibly a pilot. Not quite sure there, but possibly a pilot, or possibly the helicopter pilot itself. CYC actually was a helicopter pilot, so he's 17 and 7 as a helicopter gunner. Flying Dutchman is the pilot, so 3 and 8. Japven went 8 and 11, but he was pure anti-tank though. Rubber 11 and 4. He did pull out a sniper at the very end as well, I spotted. Jumping over to the GV guys. Crixus, who was the MBT driver, was 10 and 2. Lucky 7 and 10. Maverick 11 and 11 and 10 and 8 for Frantic. Slipped in 8 and 6 as the gunner, and they were missing a player at the end, which I think might have been the pilot, because he would have left for the infantry. So there we go. We are waiting for them to load up. They're actually going through the maps at the moment. They're on Lib Peak at the moment, so they're going for Empire State. It won't be very long until they call live on that one by the looks of things either. So we'll be there quite shortly. What is your take on infantry, Mr. Brett? Who do you think will be ruling the field? Now, both teams, I know, are especially strong infantry players. I have a funny feeling that Gloria Victis, I hope myself will pull this through and get the win here. But I know for a fact M4L won't allow them to have an easy run here at all, because I know a lot of the players on M4L, and they're very good infantry players, very, very good infantry players.
So I mean, I've seen a lot of these guys play infantry before. They're all very, very good. They all have a lot of talent. They're all very consistent players. I will say though that looking at the infantry play coming in that last map, I think that it definitely skews more towards M4L. They were able to control that meat grinder section of the map that was a B and C, I believe is, or B and D. I don't remember which one it is, but those two massive buildings there in the middle of Mirak Valley, that is definitely a meat grinder, and they were able to control those for the majority of each of those rounds. That's no small feat. That's you have to have some really good infantry in order to do that. So it'll be interesting to see what infantry players end up getting pulled in for this particular map. I don't know if GV is waiting for their star-studded infantry guys to come in and play for this particular map or not, but I think it is going to be good for both sides. I think we're going to be seeing some pretty interesting plays coming out. I know for a fact that I have not cast this one before, so I really don't know what the flow is going to be in this particular map, especially since we are playing in a 12v12 environment.
Yeah,
I am very curious as to how that's going to be working out. But yeah, I think the slight edge, just in my opinion, probably going to go for M4L.
Yeah, so if you cut off the end objectives from Empire State, so Alpha and Echo, you cut them off and you leave Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, which are in a straight line between the buildings and across the walkway. That is their play zones. So they're going to be hitting heads against each other pretty much. There'll be little rooms for flanking maneuvers. Empire State naturally is quite a vertical map, so you've got quite a lot of like areas where you can go underneath, like into the car parking zone. You go over the top as well, onto the second floor and over the bridge and stuff. So there was quite a lot of flanking routes, quite a lot of maneuverable routes as well. But again, the way the objectives are laid out, they're probably going to be fighting over Bravo, and whoever takes Bravo is going to want to hit hard and push straight into the next objective without overextending too badly, because then that's when you leave yourself open to a back cap. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm like I said, I haven't seen M4L play infantry in Battlefield 6. I've seen the players play previous Battlefields. I have seen GV play quite often, but so far it's always been vehicle maps. So I am all down for pure infantry, just all down for it, and I cannot wait. I do hope Gloria Victis is able to pull this through, because I want to see map number 3, and I bet you do as well, Mr. Brett.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that map number 3 will be a really good test, just as just a team overall. Firestorm is a very good mix of infantry and vehicles, and I think it tests the consistency of a team when they go into a map number 3. They're going to be able to pull that off. You do have kind of your highs and your lows of winning a map and then losing a map and then going into that map number 3, as the other team had the high of just winning the previous one. How well did they win that previous one? So definitely going to be interesting. As far as this particular map, seeing it for these two teams going back and forth, I mean, it's with it being a 3 flag map, it could go pretty fast. I am very curious to see if we have a all cap that's going to be happening here. Or if the spawns are close enough to prevent something like that from happening. But with it being 12v12, I mean, that is going to be a lot, and I mean a lot of medics, I would imagine, that are going to be on the playing field.
It will be. Yeah, it will be.
So lots of revives, lots of med bags. You're going to be seeing, big waves of players coming in and trying to make pushes happening. So curious as to what the hard points are going to be, where people are going to be kind of setting up and creating their own little turret, trying to stop the flow of infantry from moving from side to side. What kind of lanes they're going to be able to shut down. Definitely going to be a fun one for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think that everybody wants to see a third map. We don't ever want to see just a blowout in 2-0s. But I will say, I mean, what was it, 175 and I think 225 in that last one. That's not terrible. I mean, we've seen matches that end way worse than that. So far we've had a pretty good match so far.
Yeah, and the good thing about the layout of this map as well, it's very reminiscent of, say, Squad Conquest and Battlefield 5, where there was just 3 objectives, quite narrow lanes. So I know this map, Empire State, the whole map's kind of in play because you got the spawn zones, which are in their original positions, as you would do if you played normal Conquest, except the objectives are being removed. However, the play zones are very linear. So you've got like the left road, you've got the right road that leads inside and like underneath. And then you got the overpass as well. So because there's 12 players on each side, I wonder if they're going to be leaving a squad behind to defend the back cap, like you would in, say, a 5 versus 5. You'd have, say, 3 members in one squad, 2 in the other, and normally the 2 in the other are always on the back line, just in case someone wraps around and manages to go for the back cap. I wonder if this is going to be a similar tactic, or they could just go all out and just all push hard. And like you said, I hope we don't see a spawn trap of sorts or a trap in general. I'm hoping we'll actually see some back caps coming through. It's going to be very interesting to see. Like I said, this is probably the first time we have seen a full infantry Empire State map being played on ESB. I don't think we've casted it yet, so this will be the first official time it's just pure infantry. So I cannot wait. I'm a big fan. As much as I'm a fan of tanks and vehicles and seeing them, I'm probably more of a fan of just watching infantry, because you see some of the most rattiest plays come out that you'd probably never see before when you're watching people. And not only that, the caster's curse comes into full effect. Like, you see someone doing the most rattiest play, you call out and they're dead next second. It just happens all the time. It happens all the time. And it's just one of those things that carries over from game to game. So by the looks of things, they are still waiting. I'm not entirely sure what they're waiting for.
Well, while they're waiting, I am going to go ahead and grab another drink real quick, and I'll be back in just a second.
No problem. Right, so you've just got me for a second while Brett has gone for his drink break. I was going to say toilet break then, but he went for a drink. Well, I won't put him in that one. I won't put him in that one. So we're just waiting for one member of M4L at the moment before we get the game going. By the looks of things, they're just chilling, running around the map, etc., etc. So we'll be waiting for that, guys. Let me know in the chat, by the way. I've got the chat open. Who do you think is going to be winning on Empire State? Do you think M4L or do you think Gloria Victis? Let me know, because I want you guys to kind of have like a little prediction on it. And we'll go from there, basically. And tell me, who do you think is going to be top of the board? Top of the leaderboard. Who's your favorite player to watch? I know a lot of you guys call out for Rubber. A lot of you guys call out for Jap Ben as well. And just go for it there as well. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think. Right, so as we're waiting for the game to start, just a quick one. So we did start with Mirak Valley, and that did just go to M4L with a substantial lead. We're now jumping over to Empire State for a infantry-based only game in this 12v12. They are pretty much ready, I believe, so we should be going live in just a second. You have got me for a moment until Brett comes back. He's just going to go get a drink. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty sweaty game. So we're just waiting for that. You guys can currently see the maps at this time. If we do see Gloria Victis with the victory in Empire State, we'll be jumping over to Operation Firestorm for tiebreaker map number 3. Just to let you guys know as well, that Mirak Valley was made for Legends pick. So Gloria Victis with the Empire State is a bit of a curveball, a bit of a wild one. So yeah, I'd definitely like to see Gloria Victis get the victory here because it is their map pick after all.
Yeah, I mean, it will be interesting. Hold on 1 second.
No problem. Okay, so they're calling ready. If we jump back over to, let's have a look at Rubber's feed while we wait, actually, just to see him pull off some headshots. Jack Ben is calling ready, so we're probably going to be jumping into the game. I do hope. But yeah, Mr. Rubber is currently rocking his revolver, trying to get some headshots. He's going to be looking to get that one there.
Had a screaming, yelling kid.
No worries. I know all about that, Mr. Brett. Mr. Brett. I've got 2 of them. One almost 6-year-old and 1 4-month-old. So
yep.
Best of both worlds. That's what I say. I just seen Robert get paddled. Oh no, he just got paddled. That's twice today I've seen someone get defibrillated.
I need to see it in a match.
So we're just currently waiting at the moment. M4L are calling ready at the moment, but I'm not sure if Gloria Victis is missing one or they've gone for a toilet break. But they all seem to be all in the match and ready to rock and roll. So I do believe, hopefully in the next few seconds, we will see that live come through, and then we're able to cast this. But at the moment, as I was saying to the guys here, we're on Empire State at the moment. Hopefully, if GV takes this as it's their pick, we'll be heading over to Operation Firestorm, where our vehicles will be more centralized once again. I do believe, again, it's the same layout as like Mirak, so we'll see a attack jet, a helicopter, and an MPT. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. We might see the return of the helicopter gunner for GV, and we'll have his feed once again.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good map. Yeah, Empire State. Hopefully we get started here pretty soon. Do we have a ability to put up a poll? I wonder if we can
like a prediction
in chat. Yeah, prediction put in chat. Just see what the people who are following right now, what they think, who they think is going to be able to take the win here. Again, I have kind of predicted that M4L, just in my opinion, has a slight edge in infantry. I thought that they did really well in Mirak Valley. And it may just be because of the support from the vehicles that ended up turning the tide there. But their infantry just seemed like they were really, really solid there. And I think that they could take a 2-0 here in this map. But I'd be curious to see what the viewers think.
Yep, I'm able to host one. So just quickly firing it off. There you go, guys. So get your predictions in. You can gamble your channel points away. Who do you think is going to be winning map number 2, Empire State, between Gloria Victis and Made for Legends. They're still calling not live at the moment, despite restarting the round. So we're still waiting for a member of Gloria Victis, I believe, to get themselves sorted. But yeah, you've got about 5 minutes to get your prediction in before we get into this cast today. We've got the 3 POVs for this round because I believe it's Slipton was a helicopter gunner for round 1, so he's not an infantry player, so he will not be participating. So we will not be using his feed for this one. So we've got 3 players. We've got Lucky, we've got Rubber, and we've got Japben. So 1 player from Gloria Victis and 2 players from Made for Legends.
That's going to be interesting with limiting map feeds. Oh man, it is. You know what we might, man. I gotta talk to Code about this, but because it would be extra to do, but we should like have uh make the servers hold 1 extra person per side and have them not in a squad sitting, because I actually don't know if there's any inactivity thing that happens, but like if they spawn in, stay at main spawn and just kind of walk around every now and then, but like have their mini maps open the entire time, that would be so good to be able to have that view, just pop up the mini maps and be able to see how everybody is floating around the map. Because when you start limiting your POVs, it is very difficult to see what the flow of the map is and how these teams are actually going to be setting up and where their problems are existing or where maybe you see some successes coming into it. Just because it is taking your ability as a caster to see the whole scope of things, and you're just narrowing it down so far. But yeah, it's just, man, the things that you take for granted in regular spectator modes, it just really shows up pretty hardcore in times like this. But there are ways around it. Just depends on if you want to put a lot of time, a lot of effort into it. So I don't know. Maybe I can convince Code in order to do that later on in the future for like a finals match or something. But I think that would be pretty neat.
Going off the back of the map as well, like you don't actually realize how much information as a caster you can take from a player's POV on their map alone, because most of the time a player's not looking at their mini map, right? They're currently seeing what's in front of them. They're currently trying to hear what's around them, but you may see a red dot light up to its left or what, like to its right or whatever, and they may not pick up on that, but we can, and we'll call it out. Like I've done it many of times where I said, oh yeah, for example, Japben is out in the open here. He's running across the field. There's a guy behind him about to shoot him in the back, and then as soon as I say that, you see the indicator of incoming fire, and it's from his rear. So there's a lot of things we take from the mini map, and you don't actually realize how much spectator mode actually provides as well in that form. Minimap, the ability to see the players through walls as they're like outlined silhouettes, that is absolutely huge because you can see squad movements without having to go full free cam, and you can just dart in, go to that first cam mode, have a look, see what they're up to, come out again, etc. I think we're live. Are we live? We are live. Cool. So the guys are getting into the fight now. So we have got, like I said, we've got 2 feeds from Made for Legends. They're going to be coming in from the pack side, I believe, and they're going to be making their way over towards the... Hold on, is it not live? No, it is not live. I just seen it pop up at the last second. It is indeed a not live, so we're still not live at the moment. But yeah, like I said, they're on the pack side. That may switch. We'll see. Yeah, we just got to wait, unfortunately. It is some of the players having problems and whatnot, or just not ready. And when you have bigger teams, this tends to happen a little bit more because you've got more bodies to make sure it's ready for the games. When you have smaller, like for example 5v5s, it's normally quite quick fire rounds, and that's just because the players are just there, ready to rock and roll.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm talking about like back in the Battlefield 3 days. We was trying to wrangle around 64 players to get in, and then when you play different kinds of maps and you're moving players in because we have different vehicle players versus infantry players, and I mean it's a whole ordeal. I've spent like 6 hours one time to try and get 4 maps being played uh, in a 32 versus 32. So it's just part of how it goes, guys. You just kind of gotta be relaxed with it and just to go with the flow, and you will have some of your bad manners every now and then. Like I remember back in Battlefield 4, we were doing I think it was an 8v8 cup for ESL, if I'm not mistaken, and it was one of the launch like the new maps. It was every time they launched a new set of maps, we would have an ESL 8v8 cup for it. But there was one particular team, and I swear that they were doing this on purpose, but like they would have one guy, and every single time that we would restart, he would just drop out. And it was like, it took like 30 seconds, restart, and then 30 seconds into the map, boom, he dropped, no live, restart. We sat there for an hour waiting for him to go in. I don't know if he was just trying to tilt the other team or what, but man, you want to talk about frustrating? I just about left right then, and I was the caster. So no, it's it's definitely frustrating, but it's just kind of part of it.
Yeah,
And
we've
these
all
guys,
got those stories as well as casters. We've had our fair share of longer games due to like issues with players or issues with the game itself at the time. You know, I've casted quite a lot of 32v32s back in the Battlefield 5 days, and sometimes it would take a good half an hour for a game just to get started. Even up
yeah.
to an hour, just due to players joining or having issues with squads, having issues with getting into the game in general. So yeah, I've been there, and it could be tough, but at the same time, we can only wait. Like there's nothing else we can do. The players are trying to get in. Well, as soon as they're in, they're going to go ready, and I believe the ready call is now coming through again. I just hope this is now the time. I want to see some Empire State. I want to see some sweaty infantry fun.
All right. Well, I see nothing on my screen, by the way. So I'm going off of what Lycan's saying here. But
Yeah, I'm
yep.
seeing Jap Ven's feed. His chat has got ready, so think we're just waiting on Gloria Victis.
And by the way, do want to mention that we do have I think it's the finals next weekend, or the playoffs that are going to be happening starting next weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes.
definitely tune in for those. Those should be pretty fun. You're going to be seeing the best, and of course, a lot of um, uh, refinement on the cast, as well as the servers and the settings and all that kind of stuff. So we should see a lot more of the kinks being worked out as we progress through this particular season, and definitely looking forward to who's going to be able to come out on top there. Unfortunately, I am not going to be around next weekend, so I will have to watch from the sidelines. But they should be some pretty good matches.
Yeah, and I believe I'm free next weekend, so you probably have see me again. Yeah, I've pretty much freed up most of the tournament, so I just made sure that I am available where I can be. And I think we're live. Oh no, there's a not live again. Spec bug. So I've no clue what that is, but there is a spectating bug. I don't know if that's like the first person bug or whatnot, but again, seems to be an issue. So they're going for a restart again. It looks like they're just forced restarting the map to try and resolve this. As soon as they're all in, we're going.
Yeah, I think it's. I think there was one bug. I'm not sure if this is the one they're talking about, where it like disconnects you from your player model. So like
Right, okay.
your camera, I think like stays stationary, and then your body just moves.
Just runs
Um,
around. I've seen that in 2042,
yeah,
funny enough.
well, I mean, I've actually experienced it before, so I don't know if that was what they were having a problem with or what, but
Okay,
oh man,
so still
don't
a no live at the
respawn.
moment. Don't
All right,
respawn.
don't restart, let me respawn in. So maybe it's that he has to spawn into a match in order to get to reset. Not for sure. Ooh, nice little sniper shot there.
Jap Ben's currently got a sniper rifle out. He's trying to take some heads.
Speaking of, so we are going to be seeing sniper rifles that are going to be able to be used. That is awesome. So no DMRs, no shotguns. We do see a limit on the carbines and the assault rifles. A
Mm-hmm.
couple of LMGs and the SMGs. Well, that's cool. You know, that's one thing that I was very um, back and forth on is that when a lot of these leagues were banning out the sniper rifles, I realized that one of their main points was that with the sweet spot. But I don't know, it feels like the sweet spot's relatively inconsistent, and just didn't really seem like it was going to be that impactful with it. So kind of glad to see that the ability of core snipers is alive and well here in this particular league. You know, because again, I'm one of those guys that I kind of like it when everything is available. You know, I used to run cups back in Battlefield 3, where you basically had access to everything that was there, all the way down to like we would run crazy stuff like no attachments on any guns or something like that. So like being able to have all these weapons, even if they are somewhat overpowered in a public match setting, it is kind of cool to see them being pulled out every time.
Yeah,
I understand why some of these are definitely banned, but
I'm pretty sure they called live. I'm pretty sure they just called live. They have indeed. So they're actually fighting at the moment. Just on the topic of snipers, very quickly. Personally, myself, I'm not a fan of Sweet Spot. I never have been since Battlefield 1.
Oh, no.
I much prefer just like you go for the head, you get rewarded for it, right? You get the insta kill with the headshot. I don't believe in the whole 100 damage to the chest malarkey at certain ranges. I'm just not a fan of it. I've never have been though. That's just me personally. But yeah, they are live by the looks of things. There's been no live call, and currently Made for Legends in control of Alpha Bravo. Bravo's currently being contested, and so is Charlie. So yeah, and there's a lot of pushing going on. I'm not sure if they are live or not. I don't know at this point now, because there's some plays that I'm questioning. Like, I know he's the sniper at the moment, Mr. Japben, and he's rocking the revolver, but his teammate was also revolving as well. So let's have a look. I do believe they are live, yeah. And then they're currently trying to hold Gloria Victis out from the spawning point and stopping them from coming into these objectives, whilst Charlie is the only one under their control. Japben trying to go for that headshot there. I just seen that member of Gloria Victis just go prone and lob a grenade straight over the top. And he's going to be moving over towards the park now, going up to the top where these trucks are. And here we go, Japben with the revolver, going to be coming in with a hip fire. Does not finish the kill, but gets a hit regardless. And his current squad is what I thought it would be doing, and just holding the back line at this time. This is a real flanking point here from Charlie, which is currently Gloria Victis' control. Alpha point has also been taken, so quite spread out. Looking up towards looking up towards Rubber at the moment, who is a little bit more involved and into the fight. He's currently just on that Alpha objective and claiming it for his own squad. Getting the tugs out to make sure there's no enemy movement from GV.
It is so funny to sit here and watch a guy with a sniper rifle throwing out a med pack. This is not something I'm used to seeing. Anyways, nice little play here from Rubber. He picks up two real quick, drop him down over onto C. But we do see that 3 cap coming in. Florell is going to be able to lock this thing down. They're at about a 100 ticket advantage, and looking to press this advantage even further. C4 is going to be coming on out as well. Not going to be able to connect with the just yet, but yeah, I mean the pressure is on, and this is a really tough position for them to play from. Even in the regular public games, this is a choke point for the ages, and they're doing a fantastic job. I like the placement there of the tugs, letting his teammates know exactly where those players are going to be coming in from. But they have taken a massive bite out of GV. This is going to be very tough for GV to come back from.
It is. There's a triple cap going on. I just seen Japben just pull the most disgusting headshot on Lucky from the top of the Charlie objective, going down like the ramp and just smashed him straight in the face. It just removed him from sight. And before they pushed over towards the spawning location, this triple cap is hard. GV need to take one back, because this ticket bleed out is going to be coming in very quickly, and we do not want to see a substantial lead going into round 2, because it's going to be very hard for GV to even pull that back at that point. And wow, Frantic just instantly deleting Japben as soon as he went to look over towards that Charlie objective, which is now under Gloria Victis' control. So let's see now if Gloria Victis is able to start rotating, even go for the back cap, or even go straight to Bravo. I want to see if they're able to actually come in and start, taking these tickets down, because they're currently at a huge disadvantage when it just comes to overall ticket count.
They're not. I don't think that they are at such disadvantage that they're not going to be able to come back from it. I mean, they don't need to be hitting the panic button just yet. They've got a lot of tickets here to kind of work with. Once it gets down to that like 125, I would say like 130 mark, and that's when you kind of like, oh crap, we gotta really start doing something here. But at the moment, they do have a little bit of wiggle room. They need to make sure that they're going to be, winning their gunfights. Right now, the kill feed has just been M4L all day long. They have been locking it down. They have been able to get really good trades going back and forth. And this is something about with that I was talking about with the medics. You're going to have a very medic-heavy map, which means that for these players, they're going to be able to revive. If you see a 2 versus 3 coming out, that 3-man squad is more than likely going to be able to take that win. And when he does, he's going to res those other 2 players. And then all of a sudden, you've got a full squad or a full strength squad coming in, and you don't have those 2 tickets that you just killed. Those are not going back into your pocket. So it does definitely add up. And it is a really scary position to be in when you're not able to win those gunfights. And right now, they're just not. I mean, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kills right then and there that have gone into the favor of M4L. And I mean, you just can't win games when you're not winning gunfights. I know that sounds like, well, duh, Brett, that's just the dumbest thing you've ever said, but trust me, I've said things that were even dumber than that. But it is very true. Like, if you're not trading out efficiently, if you're not getting those kills, then you're just not going to win. It doesn't matter how many boots you have around the flag. Eventually, you're just going to lose.
Yeah, and you've got to secure those kills as well, because you could snipe, say, 2 people, but if they got a medic with them, those 2 people are not dead. They're not removed from the playing field at all. They just get revived and they're back into the fight. So there's a lot of things around that, especially when you're a medic. Just seeing Jap Vent there with the sniper rifle as a medic player, he's just been a right nuisance, a right menace. GV, however, did do what I thought they would do, and they left Charlie alone. They actually wrapped around and went straight into the Alpha objective to put some pressure on the M4L. However, M4L are still managing to just quickly respond and reclaim what's lost. So they went back, they got hold of Alpha, they're now starting to push back to Charlie, which went to GB control, and basically going to try and steal it from them once again to try and just secure that ticket lead even further. Just looking at Lucky at the moment, who just went down to rubber with the CZ, which he is now actually, oh my god, I just seen him just warp through a floor, by the way. That's rubber. Don't know what quite happened there, but Lucky is going to try and get the spawn off on Charlie objective and try and just get this back. I know we're down to, what, 79 to 338, but I have seen odds similar to this, and it's swung in the other direction. And that is not a joke. I've seen it multiple times in Battlefield 5, so it is achievable.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can. There's always that potential where they get a 3-cap, counter 3-cap, and then they're able to hold on to it, and you basically just bleed them out in terms of your ticket bleeding kills. But at this particular time, with the way M4L has been playing, the way they've been able to trade out extremely well in their kills, I highly doubt, even if a 3-cap was to come in for GV, you're getting really, really close to this situation where every time you're dying, you're going to be, taking that point off the board. So it's really tough right now. As I said before, maybe don't panic just yet. Well, now the panic button, it needs to be pressed. Right? You got to do something else. Going into the next round with a 300 ticket deficit is definitely not ideal, and probably not going to be very doable here in this situation. But we have seen some pretty crazy things coming out from these teams before. It may just been a bad start coming in from GB. We may have seen maybe some confusion as to how to play this particular map. Again, I do like the fact that we are going to be seeing those tugs being pulled out here directly on the flag. This is going to help them out tremendously here, as Lucky is still staying up and alive, taking down Rubber. Will not be able to get the flag. There are just too many players that are going to be contesting, but he is staying up, staying alive, and still connecting on those shots. So Lucky here, I mean, he's trying to put in the work, he's trying to do what he needs to do, but in the end, it's just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, Lucky is one of those players where if there's something he needs to hold, he will hold ground, and he'll do so as long as possible. I mean, I just spotted Rubber there getting a double kill. Gets killed off by Lucky. Lucky gets a double kill. Unfortunately, gets killed from a scaffolding above him. Nothing could be done there. He was in a nice position. He was inside the bus. He was prone. He was healing up, getting ready to go again. But unfortunately, it was just one of those moments where that enemy team member looked over the top there, was called out, and just got the kill there. And then I did spot some good tug gameplay. Rubber went up the stairs to overlook Bravo. and he was behind 4 members of GV. Now there was a tugs on the stairs, and that tugs already picked him up at that point. All 4 of them did a 180 and just down rubber there and then. So the tugs, like I said beforehand, is a very, very unutilized in like main game even unutilized gadget.
Nice.
That is very strong, very, very strong.
Oh, Lucky here trying to get the 3-piece. Can't connect the revolver. Does end up going down. His teammate might be able to clean that up. Does he get the revive as well? Not really too sure. But yeah, that was pretty exciting there for Lucky. And man, I gotta tell you, like getting those multi-kills here in this game, they just seem like they're way harder and competitive than what I've seen in the previous past. Not too sure if it's just the movement that's going on. Like I said, I wasn't real big on the, what was it, 2042, I think it was. So I really didn't see how the movement played out there in that game. But man, it was such a good clip moment. But there's a 3-cap that's going to be locking it on down. M4L, they are going to be losing quite a few of those tickets. So we're not going to be seeing a 300 ticket game like we saw or we're talking about before. Instead, it might be 200, might even be slightly sub 200 at this point. And this is where it's going to be really important for GV to go ahead and make sure that they're not spawning in, that they're not just wasting lives, that they're going to try and bleed this for as long as they possibly can. And we do see that 3-cap finally being broken, but they have gotten them down below that 200 ticket cap. That is a fantastic job there on their part. And you know, that's really what all you need to ask for. Like, you think about it, they had 60 tickets at the point where they were able to finally get that 2-cap burned, and they were able to bleed it down here to, you know, 120 tickets, 100, yeah, about 120 tickets. So props there to GV. Like, that is the work that you need to do. And now they've taken something that might have been an impossible game, and they're turning it into something to where in round number 2 they absolutely can come back and take the win. I mean, this is a score line that is not impossible.
Yeah, and then you can see it there and then 174 tickets then 4L, so it's not, you know, it's not unbeatable. Beam player with the 15-8, 10 and 11 to Zayn, Sombar there with the 18-18. Sorry, 18 and 10. That's my bad. Arizo with the 13-7, 14 and 10 to Real Taco, and Eka there with the 13 and 11. Did manage to catch scoreboard before it was taken to the next round. So, yeah, I mean, it's winnable. Gloria Victis can easily get this. Now, we've already seen the fact that they can actually make a triple cap and put the pressure on M4L, bleeding them over 100 tickets just like that within a few minutes, whilst also staying alive and making sure their tickets are not inadvertently getting bled out, leading to an early game end. So, seeing that, I still have hope for Gloria Victis. I really do. And I do hope now that they switch sides, they're able to come in and try and put the pressure onto M4L to get us into a third map. By the looks of it, we're going to be going live in just a moment. Hold on. There is one member missing from M4L. So we could have a no live scenario again just for a few moments. Hopefully not too long, but we shall see. In that regard, what do you think, Brett, what do you think GV needs to do here to get themselves a decisive victory on Empire State? What play do you think they should do versus what they've already been doing? Now, they've done the triple cap, which is inadvertently of them flanking around and getting that back cap and pushing from that back cap. I've noticed M4L are very heavy-handed. They'll try and take the first 2 objectives, and then they'll all push in and go straight for that final point to try and lock them out, which then inadvertently leaves the back cap open, which, from my casting perspective back in the past, you always leave a few members behind right on defense just in case that was to happen. But it looks like this may not be the case for M4L. So I want to know what your thoughts are about it, really.
So I really don't think that positioning is really going to be the key factor here. On a map like this is very reminiscent of like Dawnbreaker from Battlefield 4. It's a map that you see a lot of rotations on. You see a lot of flags being flipped. But if you are able to lock it down, it can be pretty brutal. But really, I think it just comes down to the fact that they need to trade efficiently. Something that they were finally able to do there towards the very end of the map. They're winning out on their gunfights. If you look at the kill feed, if you were noticing it, We started seeing the kill feed favoring GV a lot more. They were getting a lot more doubles, triples. They were winning out on their team fights. They were able to get those revives, and that's what it's really going to come down to. You know, how well are they sticking together as a squad, as a team, and are they going to be able to get those revives as those gunfights are trading out? And if they can do that, then you're going to see like what we saw before. They're going to be able to clear out flags. They're going to be able to get that uh, that cap in their favor, um, and they'll eventually be able to get a 3 cap going on there. But as far as just just leaving players back for a defensive play, I don't really think that that works for this particular map, just because it's a very horizontal map with the spawns. So there's gonna be a lot of flipping, and there's gonna be a lot of rushing, zerg rushing. There's gonna be a lot of pushing, multiple squads towards one flag, which is just gonna overwhelm you to begin with. And in that regard, you just need to be able to rotate faster than the other team. And if they're able to get that 2 flag burn right from the break, just stay a flag ahead. Like I know I say it so casually, but really just stay a flag ahead. Rotate as much as possible. As soon as you see your back flag start flashing, make a big push for their flag. Just stay at least 1 flag ahead and rotate as much as possible. I don't think that defense, at least in this game right now, in this map, is very important. It's there's not a whole lot of places that you can just set up and just mow players down coming into a site. Like, there's so many different areas that players can come in at. There's different places where nade spots can come in, and of course you have the tugs as well. Which I mean, you have both the defensive tugs and the offensive tugs. So as soon as you're going to be trying to push a point, you're going to be seeing the other team throwing down a tugs before they get onto it, just so that they can get some initial information. So all of that
Yep.
comes into a play with it. So I think that the more aggressive teams are going to be the ones that we're going to see the most success out of. And I think GV initially was a lot more defensive before. Maybe not defensive, but they definitely were caught on their back foot. And I think that by the end of the match, they finally got it together, and they were being the aggressors. They were the ones that were able to get the rotations in their favor and consistently winning out on those gunfights.
Yeah, and just to come off the back of that as well, the offensive to defensive tugs is really important. If you leave the tugs behind even and just constantly watch the minimap, you can actually tell like a rotation before you even see it, right? If you spot a few a few red dots passing by your tugs on the way to an objective, then you've already got that early warning sign just to let your team know and see if see what your options are. So it's always good to see. I just seen, unfortunately, one of those revives that you see in pubs where someone picks you up and you get absolutely blasted in the face as soon as you get picked up. So very unfortunate there for M4L's player, Mr. Japben, because that literally just happened to him. It's very unfortunate. But by the looks of things, GV may actually have a double cap here. Bravo objective is currently starting to go over to M4L, but GV are very much in their face. So I want to see if they're able to get this cap. So going over to Lucky there, he almost pulled a 2 feed. Unfortunately, just got killed off by Vers. Heading over towards Japben and Rubber. Japben getting killed off there by Zayn. And they're currently looking to fight for that Alpha objective as well. So I could actually be eating my words. But Alpha objective is about to start going to M4L control, which will then lead to an early game triple cap once again.
Yeah, it very well could. GV, they got to start getting those kills again. I mean, take a look at the kill feed. They're just not going to be able to get those trades in efficiently. So finally going to be pushing up. This is going to be Lucky, I believe, over here onto that C site, as he will be burning it down quite quickly here with his teammates. But also another thing too that I have been seeing is some 3-man squads, which I do like. Something that doesn't happen a whole lot in this game, I don't feel like, are squad hopping, and it may just because it's so, and it's not intuitive or easy as it has been in the last games. Nice pickups there. It's going to be Lucky and his teammate able to capitalize and kill 2 players trying to get back onto that C flag. That's what you got to do. Get the revive as well. But squad hopping, I just don't feel like it is as it's not as popular as it was in the past. And if you can find a way to squad hop, man, that's going to help you out quite a bit. throughout this game,
So-
being able to reinforce throughout the map.
Yeah, coming off the back of squad ops, it is actually quite prominent in certain map scenarios. For example, Liberation Peak, and I'm going to use Lucky as a man for this. Now, Lucky, his tactic is to jump from the helicopter, so he's actually gunner to start with. He'll jump out onto the middle objective, and then he will squad hop to allow other teammates to spawn on him. And I feel like that is a overall consensus when it comes to having a helicopter on the map, that you'll see that squad hopping come into play. I have spotted it a few times on different other maps. We haven't spotted it on Empire State, but I don't feel like it's actually that much needed. We used to spot it a lot on Battlefield 5 as well, especially with back caps and smaller conquest modes. And this kind of has a reminiscence of that smaller conquest. But as you say, Battlefield 6 is more of a... It's very fast paced. There's a lot of like just on it constantly. There's no real like time for a stop and wait going to your menu swap squads. You know, if you could get caught at any point, it's just you need to be on the burner constantly to go for that. And I just spotted there Rubber utilizing his jammer as a reset to get rid of tug. This stops tugs being able to detect you. It just blocks it entirely. And you can see there Rubber just able to get himself a nice beautiful kill. Lucky though coming in with the backup and taking him out in return. So GV still trying their best to come in with that triple cap to try and get those tickets down even further. They currently hold Alpha and Charlie. What an amazing few kills by Lucky, by the way, coming in with that DRS being just, yeah, I mean, Lucky is an exceptional player. I watch him quite often, and he doesn't disappoint. He does not disappoint.
No.
But I have no idea what just happened there with Greasy, who just managed to run past him, do a 180 with the CZ, and just take out Lucky just like that. As soon as I'm talking about Lucky, something just happens. It's the caster's curse. It's happening again. I might as well just stay quiet when I look at certain players and start calling out good things, because it just always goes wrong for them, and I feel sorry for them.
Lucky was, I think, the highest kill player on his team, so he definitely is a superstar for the time being on this particular map. So seeing him doing really well is definitely a good thing for his squads, and we'll see if he's going to be able to keep it up. But yeah, Lucky, he's dealing with some crazy movement here, and that is love it or hate it, right? The movement here in Battlefield 6, it's definitely wonky compared to past Battlefields, but they are going to be able to stay up, stay alive, but they got to get on those flags, you know. It's nice to have those players up and around the flags, but we got to be getting onto the cap radiuses when we are fighting, and they're just not able to make it over there to them just yet. Emporel have taken a pretty substantial lead. I know it's only 297 to 257, but guys, you have to add in that 174 tickets from that previous map, and that starts making it look a little bit more scary. But GV, I think that they've got a good head on their shoulders. I don't think that they're panicking just yet. They're going to try and make this happen. We have potentially seen a 3 cap that's going to be coming in just a few seconds, but until that happens, I mean, I think that GV may have a chance still to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it happened in the last game, right? GV looked like they was going to lose by a substantial amount. They got the triple cap. They brought that down quite a lot. When we were saying about Lucky just then and how movement is in Battlefield 6, one of my most hated part of Battlefield 6 at the moment is getting your head stuck on the window as you're trying to leave a building. The amount of times I've been caught just headbutting a windowsill and just not able to exit the building, it just drives me up the wall. I don't know if it's something to do with the most current patch or whatnot, but I spotted it earlier as well when I was casting the Australian game. One of the guys was trying to leave the building, ended up headbutting the window, and just got stuck in the window. Took a tank shot to the face. So I was like, yep, it's not just me then, it's not just me. And it seems to be coming over quite a lot into competitive by the looks of things. So I was just going to say, let's have a look at Rubber going in for the back cap, but unfortunately gets caught by Bean Player, who was actually waiting for him like a sneaky boy. Takes him down straight away. Lucky, unfortunately, down as well. All 3 players in the spawn screen at this time. We're going to dart to Japven, who is actually going to be trying to go for the Alpha objective with his squad here. I want to see if he's able to take it now. This guy in the corner there kills off, I think that's Grootty. I think that was Grootty, yeah. He killed off Grootty, and they're going to be moving into the Alpha objective. Let's see if his squad mates picks up a few kills. Find one in the corner, takes down Zayn with the help of his teammates there, and looks like they've just got the full cleanup on Alpha. Bravo objective is currently contested, but by the looks of it, they are holding it, because it just went from contention to none. So, yeah, GV. Looks like they're going to be able to try and hopefully
So
get back Bravo, because the double cap's coming in for M4L now. Alpha Bravo
so
under their control.
one of the things that I don't know if you guys been able to notice here, but we saw Lucky the last couple of times that he died with nobody else around him. So previously, when they were doing really well, Lucky had squad mates that were in and around him that he could revive
Hmm.
and also be revived from. And when
Yes.
you start splitting off and you start going in solos and instead of in pairs or in threes, you start losing those fights. And that's what we saw. Yeah, Lucky was able to get one, maybe two kills, but that third guy was always able to take him down. And then they were able to revive the people that were around him. He had no support, he had no help. Now, whether that was because he was outrunning that support or outrunning that help, I don't really know. But he definitely didn't have his squad mates around him in order to make those plays happen. And one of the most consistent things that we are seeing coming in from the other side from M4L is they constantly have players around them. Now, Rubber, I will say, he has been kind of going solo in a couple of these little plays, but when you have that two flag advantage, you can go and kind of flank around solo by yourself because you have that leeway, you have that pressure that or lack of pressure actually on you in order to kind of make those plays and potentially make no gains out of those plays and it not hurt your team. But that hasn't been
Yeah.
the case here for GB. And you do see Japan right now. I mean, look at that. You had what, three players were all swarming onto the same flag all at the same time, and not all of them are on the same squad. You do have kind of a mix of squads that are going to be coming in. And right now, they're going to be
Yeah.
able to lock it down, and that's going to be pretty much it here for GV. So M4L just looking extremely well on this map. They look really good on Mirak Valley, but their infantry players, I mean, like I said, they look fantastic on Mirak, and I think they look even better here on Empire.
Yeah, I know a few of the players as well, very strong infantry players in general, namely like Rubber and Rizzo and like Jack Ben and those players as well. I know them from back in the day, so I understand like their play styles are very aggressive infantry. Just coming off the back of like having teammates around you at all times. Now I've noticed Lucky hasn't got his I mean the last times I've casted Lucky, he's been with Deagle, Jan. And they've kind of like both been hand in hand with each other. You know, they play very well off each other, and I just don't see that today. I don't see Jan at all. So I wonder if the lack of Jan, I don't know if he's busy or whatnot, being able to field today with Lucky is like part of the problem why Lucky is alone quite a lot. I know Sombar is with him, and another squad member as well, Maverick, and they are like nearby. But unfortunately, as a three-man squad, you know, you lose those two, you're on your own instantly. And Lucky isn't the type of player to stop either. He's constantly on the move. So as squad mates go, if you start taking income fire, what do? You don't keep running, you'll stop to try and assess the situation. Now Lucky, I know he's just a tendency just to keep running. The man yeah, he's got no stop button, just zero stop button. And you can kind of see it now with his speed. He's currently engaged in a firefight again. He's on his own. He's got a few teammates with him, which are above. One just went down. None of his squad mates are currently with him at the moment. They're currently actually back at his home spawn. And unfortunately, will be getting killed off there by, I think it was SM Bosch, which took him out there. So he's going to try and get spawn off a squad mate here and go for the Alpha objective. But we're just down to just 40 tickets to 228. But yeah, it seems like squad cohesion within M4L is very tight-knitted. And the fact there's one player, you'll see 3 or 4 around them, and they need more medics involved in that situation as well. But yeah, I don't know if Lucky is feeling a bit missing with Deagle with him or not. But he seems to be doing very well regardless of the fact. I mean, he's picking up kills. He's absolutely slaying it, as we expect from Lucky over on Gloria Victis.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, but we'll see how his final numbers actually pan out when we get the scoreboard up. But yeah, Rubber, I do have to point out, Rubber has been playing a very good game here for infantry. This is actually the first time that I've ever seen him play infantry longer than just waiting for his helicopter to spawn back in. So this has been a bit of a treat here to see how well he has been playing this recon class. And I like the way that he's been playing the more aggressive style, and it's just very fun to watch. But Yeah, taking a look right now. Where is Lucky? I think Lucky is 19-15 there. Wanted to point that out over there onto the GV side. So he was definitely struggling more so in that particular match than what he was previously. I think previously he was able to get up into the 20s. So not quite able to get that first win there for GV to take it to a map number 3, but nonetheless, they had some good showings. That is for sure. They looked pretty decent there on Mirak Valley, and of course, in the first round there of Empire, they were able to have that really good comeback towards the end in order to make the game a lot more interesting than what it really could have. I mean, we were potentially looking at a 300 to like maybe a 275 match, and it ended up being a lot better than that. But we are going to be seeing your victors as M4L, and so congratulations to them, and GG's to GV for coming out and playing some really good games.
Yeah, GG's both teams. They did very well today. Yeah, M4L with the double victory. Just quickly though, I just noticed, I literally didn't even know. I turned around and it's just pitch dark in this room because we started, it was bright as day. So the light's going on quickly. But I have also got the leaderboard from the last round. I managed to pull it in a screenshot. So we can get to have a little cheeky look at the leaderboard. I can tell you exactly how the kills to death ratios went. So Rezo from Made for Legends went 21-10 with 2 captures, 3 revives. Real Taco with the 15-12 with 6 captures and 3 revives. Another noticeable player would be Al Prince with the 15-12 with 2 captures, 3 revives. 20-3 to Greasy with 3 captures, 0 revives. Rubber 17-9, 2 captures, 1 revive. Fortunately, part of the GV guys have already left the server at this point, but I did get Lucky's kills, which was 19-15, 1 capture, 5 revives. So Lucky, on his side, without the missing players, was actually the highest medic for revives on his team. So he was going to get those revives when he finds his teammates were down and out. Beam player, 11-15, 3 captures, 4 revives. So they're getting quite a lot of captures in by the looks of things as well. Zayn though, the 11-12, 3 captures and 2 revives. So 19-15 to Lucky, like I said before. Another noticeable player is going to be GV Frantic with the 19-11, 3 captures and 1 revive. So that being said, that is going to be it for today for ESB Week 5. We have got the playoffs next, so stay tuned in the Discord. We're going to be announcing the playoffs and we're going to be casting. I should be available for next week. I believe, Brett, you will not be. So
I will be in QuakeCon.
Okay, fair. No, that's fair enough.
Yep.
So I may be on my own. I may be with another caster. We'll see who's available at the time, but you may expect me next week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the cast today and enjoyed the match. But yeah, stay cool, stay hydrated, and I'll probably see you guys next week. Have a good one. And thank you for joining me today, Brett. Very much appreciated as always. Yep. And it's great to be casting with you yet again.
Yep. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Only on esportbf.com.